beach towel dress on the drying line. Do I remind you of your daddy and his 88?
Hey, good evening, folks. Sorry, it took me a few more seconds here to set up the all the settings behind the scenes so we can be live on Facebook Live and we can actually also record, and we're all set. Perfect. Okay, folks. Well, welcome to this Go for Diamond session. Just want to confirm: are you guys seeing the big, beautiful diamond right now? Just give me a thumbs up to confirm. Okay, perfect, perfect. Um, Tonight I know we've done this before, and I know some of you might have recently hear this training, um, but it is such an important training that we felt today that we want to focus on uh, the diamond mindset, or having the right mindset in light to especially what's been going on in 2023, 2022, but 2023 was a rough year. 2024, it's actually looking really good. It's looking up, and I think 2025 we're gonna really reap the rewards that we're planting today, like right now. But all of this will manifest based on your mindset. And Tammy and I want to go through a few slides. It's not going to be a long call, but I think it's a very, very, very important call. And the one thing that I'd like to begin with is to talk about the limiting belief, right? The limiting belief are produced by limited results, but it's also a topic that is extremely important, which often uh, identifies the the situation that we might have came across along our lives. And I will come back a few times during the session today, and I know you've heard me say this before, but every time a human being does something and there's any kind of level of success with whatever they do, there is a deposit that's being made in that memory bank of credibility memory bank, based on your belief, based on the results that you get. And all of that will impact your limiting belief. And we want to talk to you about some of those things, because especially what we've been going through in 2023, we have been setting some limiting belief. Trust me, we all have them. And these limiting beliefs often will prevent us to do what we're capable of doing. But it goes way beyond what recently might have occurred. It's also upbringing and the things that we've came across that we choose to accept. It is what it is. I actually hate this line, because it is what it is, because anything can change if you make the decision. But I hear this often: well, it is what it is. No, it isn't. It doesn't have to be. And this is what we want to talk about here tonight: is the limiting beliefs that we set as we grow up, based on our education, based on our religious belief. And it's not nothing to put anything down in any way, shape, or form. These are all the different things that we've been exposed to as we were growing up, and the things that we were told not to do or we can't do. And all of these have been repeated over time, over years. It's interesting. I don't know if it was a TikTok video, or if it was a documentary, or if it was something that I watched, but it's really interesting where the whole education system was not designed to create entrepreneur and free thinkers. I don't know, the words are not coming easy tonight, but I think you guys understand what I'm talking about. They were designed to train people to fulfill jobs, fulfill a task. This is what our whole education system has been based on. And honestly, in the past 100 years, I don't think the education system has changed or evolved that much. I think we're starting to evolve and starting to recognize. But that system that we've been exposed to our entire life was not trained for you to become a free thinker and a free entrepreneur. It was designed for you to do tasks, to do a job, to do specific things. And these are the limiting beliefs that I'm talking about, where when you come into network marketing, which is a free environment, where if nobody tells you what to do, you can watch TV all day long and you think you're working just because you're browsing, right? It's a complete different environment. And his limiting belief could have a serious impact in your results. Tammy, do you, any point you want to add to this before I change slides?
So the big question is all, because we're in a new year, right? So it's important to create some adjustments, especially when you're not pleased with the results from the previous year or stuff that's happened in the past. We can't keep carrying this baggage because it's heavy. And it's not a good environment to hang out in, right? So it's really, really important to constantly sit back and reevaluate. And these are things that Chris and I have done, especially last year. It wasn't an easy year for most people. We all know a lot of the transitions that were taking place, and we can't get hung up on all of this stuff. We can only control what we can control, and that's how we behave in any situation, no matter what it is. So it's nice to just sit back and reflect sometimes. What do you want to carry into 2024 that's going to move you towards the life that you desire? Because we all have desired lifestyles that we're looking for. It could be a simple lifestyle. It could be something like Chris and I. We've always dreamed. Years ago, it was only a dream to have a condo in the tropics somewhere. And that's how it all started. It just happened to be in Florida, where we end up settling. And we've been doing this now, it's 11 years. We go back and forth. And that's something that we wanted so bad that we put it on our vision board, number one, and then we started moving towards it. What are the actions that need to be done? Well, we have to build a network, and then we have to make sure that the network is continuously growing, going into momentum, all the things that we need to do with the team, setting goals, all of this stuff, whatever it is in your personal life as well. You know, Chris and I have big vision on staying fit and healthy, going into our 80s and 90s and hundreds. So hundreds,
200 years, I'll take it.
so where are you right now, and what do you want your life to look like in the next 5 to 10 years? We've heard all this before, but if you're not moving towards it, it's because you're probably not sitting back and doing this evaluation, which is, by the way, something that Chris and I do regularly in conversations and writing stuff down. And of course, our vision boards, everything's behind us too. So we get to see it every day when we're not doing what we need to do to move forward. So write it down, you guys. So take the time, write down the things that you're willing to give up that's holding you back. Write down the things that would make your life better in 2024. And then write down whatever those dreams are. It doesn't matter what it is, write it down. And then you got to work on the goals around that, and then the action steps around that as well, because everything boils down to tasks. And they could be the smallest little tasks of accountability that's going to move you towards the bigger things. And we're doing this right now, again, in the 7 a.m. I know for me personally, and it's not easy because I had adjusted back to Chris's way, because Chris likes to get up at 7 and,
Why is my way like bad?
No, but it's, I mean, that was
I
our
get
life before. And then I adjusted to get up at 7 a.m. to create some disciplines and accountability. And then I got off of doing that. And now I'm back doing it again. And it's not easy, right? To get back on track.
Actually, you're up at 6. You're up at
Yeah,
6 to start
I'm
at
up
7 a.m.,
6.
right?
Yeah. So for example, today, I mean, to do this call at 8 p.m., it took a lot for me to get back in my office because I've been working since 7 a.m. So it's 8 o'clock, right? And I'm still working. But these are the things that we need to do in order to advance and grow in our goals. things that we
So,
want.
so
So,
in this point, I mean, if I may add, see, what makes your life better? And this is the
mhm,
point that Tammy is talking about. Is to set those dreams
yeah,
that are breaking down into your goals, that are breaking down into steps, which you take action on those steps. For example, I chose to be part, and you guys are all aware, we've talked about this, the Now site. I fell in love with this tool. Why? Every morning now, I get 5 to 10 leads I connect with, and we will, in fact, I can create a team now. I just find that out, and I can share with you all the emails that I created for the Max campaign and other different things that I'm doing. And I have all these emails. I think I have 14 or 15 emails, and I grabbed it from the Live Max, and I grab their posts with their pictures, and they educate the process on the daily basis on lifestyle around glutathione, around proper eating, around longevity, around the Max One, focusing on the ribosine, and so forth. So my point in saying that is, as you set your dreams to breaking down into goals, into tasks, and then you take action on those, this is how you can make things better to go against your limiting beliefs. So the next point that I want to talk about is implicit memories. And it goes back to what I was telling you about the upbringing, right? The things that have influenced you and determining who you are by accepting what maybe a teacher told you, or your parents told you, or your friends told you. I mean, I could go on and on and on. I have many examples in my life where people told me you couldn't do this, you couldn't do that. Money doesn't grow in trees. Stop dreaming, come back to reality. I grew up constantly being drilled, and my parents didn't mean wrong by it. For them, is they thought, well, stop dreaming because we want to make sure that you get what you're focused on. And if you try to think of what you can't have, then you'll be disappointed in life. Unfortunately, that's not the right way. But often, my parents didn't have the kind of education I've been having through this information, through this industry of network marketing. So these implicit memory are things that I've chose unconsciously to accept. Sometimes I have to slow down and say it slowly as a French guy trying to speak in English, right? Things that are not conscious that I chose that are there. They're always in the back of my mind. For example, I'll give you a prime example for me. When we go to this Eric Worre mastermind, and I sit with someone that's making $1 million a month, I'm looking at that as, how is this even possible? How can this happen? That's my limiting belief. But then what's happening is I'm realizing what's going on. And the reality is that it's not as hard as we think. But those limiting beliefs is what I need to overcome to be able to achieve that. And to be honest with you, making $1 million a month, it's not necessarily a target of mine. There's nothing wrong with it in any way, shape, or form. What I'm saying is those limiting beliefs are what people go through. For example, what could be a limiting belief right now based on what's been happening in 2023? Well, if I build my business and I sponsor new people to the business and we ran out of products again, now they're going to drop off and then we're back to square one. See, that limiting belief will prevent you to do the task and to do the work that you should be doing. And some of us will just keep moving forward despite that. And when things are flowing in 2024, 2025, those are the people that will reap the rewards. The ones that are staying the course. They keep presenting. They keep showing up. They keep doing one-on-one. They keep connecting with people. So again, very important that we understand and recognize those implicit memories, the things that we came across. And I'm telling you, for me, money was a big problem. It's really interesting. It was a big problem. Every time I made money, I lost it. Right? I mean, you can relate to that in the past. But things have changed. I went through T. Harv Eker at the beginning. You guys remember the Millionaire Mind? Okay. Maripol, yeah, so, I did all of that. And that's when I started associating and recognizing my association that was really negative around the topic of money. And every time I look at money, even still today, right? It's sometimes these things come back based on scenarios or situation you come across. But I do have the discipline now to overcome those, which kind of we'll get to the next slide. Well, I'll pass over to Tammy, but really important that you recognize. And when Tammy says to make a list of all the things that matters to you, it is so important. It is so important for you to do that. Then you can sort through the things that are important to you and then guide your steps and your activities daily in line to what you really want out of life. So be mindful of those implicit memory. And by doing this inventory, you're going to start recognizing where you're limiting belief when you start setting your dreams, right? So which brings us to the next point. As you start recognizing those moments in life that kind of gives you this limitations.
Yeah, and the key is letting go. And you've heard this so many times. Is it easy to let go? No, it's not easy to let go, but you have to let go and to be conscious. And the best way is when you're in the moment and you have all the control to make a decision in the moment. That's when you have your choices. And you can say, you know what, I'm just not going to attach myself to any of this energy. I'm moving forward. And then you get focused on your vision, your goals, and you kind of block that out and you move forward. You know, we have a choice every single morning when we get up, you know, whether we're going to wake up in gratitude or wake up like, oh, you see the weather, you see whatever, and it just starts to like it spiral down, you know. So you gotta catch yourself in the moments, and you gotta start letting go of the things that are not serving you, and move to the space where it's going to serve you. If you're a person that doesn't wake up in joy, find something that's going to make you happy when you wake up. Inspiring things can help with that. So find things that are going to bring joy in your life and have a target, because people wander when they don't have goals. You know, they always say that if you're not focused on a target, then your day will go by and nothing's happened. Has that ever happened to you? I know it's happened to me. If I'm not focused on things that I want to accomplish during the day, then yeah, it's frustrating. At the end of the day, it's like, oh my gosh, here we go, another day, here we go. And then you start putting yourself down and beating yourself up. But you have a choice in every second. When you're in the moment, you have a choice to make that shift right away. Right? And it's not easy to make that shift. I can tell you that. Chris and I got pretty comfortable there just before Christmas, not working out. Something happened. There was so many things that we allowed to stop us from working out. And then, of course, we got sick, and then we got to Florida, and then finding the energy to get back, and then you get back into it, and that first day is like pulling teeth just to get you to put your gym gear on, you know, and then you do your workout. Maybe you didn't do as great as you wanted to do, but at least you were there and you showed up. And the next day you get back out there, and then all of a sudden you're back into this routine again. And so we've all done this in so many areas of our life. It's to catch yourself and say, no, enough. This is not going to happen again. I'm tired of feeling this way, and go back to your goals. Like Chris and I have big goals this year. And we're not going to allow the things that we allowed happen in 2023 to take over our mind in 2024. Otherwise, we're going to be in the same position that we were in 2024 and 2023, and it's not going to happen, right? So you got to be surrounded also, you guys, by people who are going to lift you up. You need accountability, whether you think you do or not, you do. Because nobody's going to wake up in the morning and kick their own butts. I mean, you can talk yourself into something, but usually accountability is what it takes for people to move. And people will do more when there's another environment than themselves. Okay, and if you say, well, yeah, it's so easy, you got Chris, you guys are together. You know what? Take a class. No excuse. There's lots of people in classes for working out, for whatever it is, to move forward. We're doing these accountabilities. So that's
yeah.
what's going to move you.
So do not underestimate the power of letting go. It's okay.
Mhm.
Things didn't go well. You talk to a prospect, things didn't go well. The person didn't convert. You keep chasing that person. Let go. It's totally, you keep moving forward. You keep moving forward. And what's important here is to recognize the thoughts that are always there judging, right? That are tend to emphasizing the negative situation of. Trust me, there's plenty of it, plenty to go around. But where do you choose to focus your time? I'm sure you heard the story that there is two wolves, right? One is angry and vicious, and the other one is kind, right? Which one will survive? Well, the one you choose to feed. This is something that I absolutely adore as an analogy. The one you choose to feed will thrive. And I know we live in a society with 3 wars. And what else is coming? Who knows? The bottom line here, there's enough to go around for you to feel discouraged about what's happening. What we're saying is we know it's there. But there are also some wonderful things that are happening in the world. We don't hear about it in the news because it doesn't sell or it doesn't suit their purpose. The point is, maybe let go of these things. Catch yourself judging or even yourself in a situation that keeps you into that negative state. Recognize those. And you got to reshape the patterns. I got an ebook that I would love to share with you guys. It's a phenomenal ebook with so many phrases that are absolutely phenomenal. There are hundreds and hundreds of phrases that will stimulate the positive thinking. And there's the financial aspect, there's the spiritual aspect, there's the health aspect, there's different, and I will share this at one point, but I don't know, maybe I can attach it to this to once this call is actually uploaded, I'll attach it into the comments, so you'll have to go back there and download it from there. I don't have it just with me now. I have to find it. It's an ebook, and I'm telling you, it is absolutely fantastic. I really highly recommend. And that's what I mean is here's an example where you can use this external influence that you can read. And it's not a book that if you're not a reader, that's totally cool. If you are, you'll enjoy it. And just read a few lines. And there's 4 different topics. Again, there's the health, there's the wealth, there's spiritual, and there's others, right? There's 2 others. And I'm telling you, these are the kind of things, just like going to the gym. You train your muscles while you're training your mind, your mindset to focus on the right things, to keep telling you the right things. And even at the beginning, just like Tammy was talking about, you're thinking of going to the gym, and it's like pulling teeth just to jump into your gym gear to get out and do all of this. Well, the same thing you will go through as you read these lines. You don't feel like reading them because for you, they're not real. It's not your current state. And that's totally cool. You still read it. And I'm telling you that just by doing this can really impact your life in so many ways. The human brain is such a powerful tool, and we're constantly undermine and underestimate the power we have. And because of that, we don't think that these negative thought has any impact. And they do, because they keep you exactly where you are and not where you want to be. So this is something that you want to be conscious of, and reshaping your mind to a more positive mindset towards whatever challenge you might be facing. I know that some of you are really into the conspiracy theory, and to be honest with you, I don't think they're conspiracy. I think they're quite real. But the reality here is if you focus all your time and energy on this kind of crap, excuse me the expression, that's all your life will be like. That's all you're going to see. And you will find it'll be very difficult for you to achieve what you want to achieve. And you'll have to accept what you don't want to, what you don't want to live with, because that's the environment that's around you. It is extremely powerful, extremely powerful. So be mindful of that.
Yeah, and another thing, Chris, that I think people got so caught up in 2023, and Eric has talked to, a group of us many times when we get together, whether it's a Zoom or at the studio or whatever it was, through the GoPro in the breaks and all of that stuff. He was talking about the comfort zone, and so many people are having a difficult time putting some normal clothes on and actually going out and networking. And that's what we did to get this business growing in the first place. I mean, social media is something that most of us started learning when the pandemic hit, because we had no choice but to stay at home. And some people are doing extremely well through the social media, and others not so well doing it. And some people just prefer to be out there belly to belly, connecting with people, going to events. And a lot of that is happening again. So you need to have some balance there and get uncomfortable. And constantly, you guys, it's all about constantly working on yourself, building your confidence. A lot of people, they get out there prospecting, inviting, and they don't believe they can attract a certain caliber of a person. And that's because that's the way they feel about themselves. So developing the leader within, which we've done many times over the years, talking about this type of a training, is you got to work on yourself first. I mean, the first circle in your organization is you, right? So when you build yourself up and your self-confidence and your posture and your disciplines and your organization and your skill set and everything, your mindset, when that all gets structured, people will start becoming attracted to you. And these are things that, as you know, Chris and I are constantly working on ourselves with that. Are we perfect? Absolutely not. And if we have a little bit more under our belt than somebody else, it's because we got the years and we've done the actions. We've made the commitments. We've fallen on our face. We've made fools out of ourselves in front of people sometimes. We've broken through some fear barriers. There's so many things that we faced over the years that help us develop the posture and the influence, with other people. If you can hit a certain rank, you're building influence in your environment. If you're not going up in ranks, your influence is not going to be as high. So the key is to build yourself and your ranks and your influence, and you'll see things will change. You'll attract a different caliber of people when you see yourself at that level. So, and always work on yourself. Always.
Yeah, I agree, Tammy. And one thing that I recommend for all of you, in building my business, what I'm doing now, my Max business, is I'm targeting what I know people want to hear about, which is product science. And I created an environment around it. Now, I'm promoting within the United States at the moment. So I'm leading with my affiliate, which every one of you have one. But my affiliate is my point of entry. And if someone says, well, I'd like to get the product cheaper, or is there a way to get it cheaper? Absolutely. You can become an associate. Or I can put you as a customer for my associate position, whatever the wording I choose to use at the time. I'm just making this quick so you guys understand what I'm talking about. And from there, like I said, in December, I brought in 2 people, right? One of them was an associate that just went another ship. The other one is just is a customer. And the fact here is, if you don't know, with Max, you can actually get your customer link. If you go to the MyMax office and you don't log into your back office, you just place the product order. It's going to ask you to specify your ID. And then when you place the product, then you can generate your link as a customer. And then you can send that to someone. And when you click on that link, it will give them all the details and that they need to fill in. So it's a bit more intense than the affiliate. The affiliate, you just need to put an address, the credit card, and it's done. The order is placed, but it's only in the United States. The other way, it's going to work all of North America. Okay. And it works because the person clicked that link, they were able to fill the information, and the order was placed. So my point here is you can set yourself in any way, shape, or form you need. And if you're having a hard time getting that link, let us know into one of the Facebook group or the Telegram group that we have, and I'll respond and I'll show you how to do this. Or feel free to book a call with Chris, and we'll set a time and I'll show you exactly how that works. And then you'll be plugged into my calendar. So it's a really simple thing to do. If you want to build in the United States, I suggest to lead with the affiliate because it's a much easier site with all the beautiful information. And if they want to get the product cheaper, that's a great entry to bring them to your network marketing affiliate, instead of affiliate, to become a network marketing customer or associate. And we can expand on that a little later. But all of these things, as you keep doing that, this is what's going to build your confidence and going out there and taking action. By the way, this coming Thursday, there's going to be a wonderful training. I know Rick Monturosa is going to be sharing some of his points on mindset, which is a perfect topic, which is what we're doing, in fact, today. So the whole week. And by the way, next week, we're going to be talking about investments, and we'll come back to that at the end of this call. It's a really, really important call. I think you guys will really benefit from. But back to the point here is all of these things will build your confidence in your self-worth. This is what we all have to work on to bypass the feeling and emotion that we have associated with what's been happening in the past 2 years, especially the last year. And the point as we keep moving forward here, folks, is when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. And this is something that Tammy and I have recognized, is you have to start changing the way you look at things for things to change. And in fact, Tammy, I'm going to throw this over to you. And I know many of you I've seen this before, but I think it's a great reminder as us adults, how we tend to overcomplicate things.
Okay, so some of you have seen this before. So if you've already seen it and you know the answer, don't put it in the chat. It's more for somebody who hasn't seen this. So what is the number out of the parking spot of the car that is parked? What's that number underneath? Just put it in the chat. If you haven't done this before, put it in the chat. You got 20 seconds. Chris, you got the timer?
I'm doing it in my head. We're good.
Because I've been talking. Come on, you guys, participate. If you haven't seen this, you haven't done it before, maybe you've already seen it. Maybe everybody's seen it, Chris.
And you know, at the end of the day, it's not really the answer that matters so much, but it's a very important message that we tend to do. And why is it that a child can solve this in less than 20 seconds? Because the child tends to look at things from a less complicated point of view, just by turning the picture upside down. And that is correct, Beth, right? It's 87.
Yeah.
But the reality is we tend to overcomplicate how we prospect, how we build this business, how we install this, how we do that, how we actually use these tools. We overcomplicate things all the time. And that is often the reason why people are going through adversity, they're going through challenges. They make things more complicated. They look at a problem and make it bigger than it actually is. So sometimes you just have to step back and just kind of simplify the process as you start resolving a problem or dealing with whatever objections you might be dealing with, because the answers are always there. So I hope you guys are kind of making use of this approach. Is try not to overcomplicate the problem. Simplify it simply by stepping back and just kind of reflecting on, what am I trying to do here? What is my goal? What do I want to achieve?
So
I would like,
even
go
in
ahead,
your
Tammy.
prospecting and stuff, it's important. So many people complicate everything. And let's face it, in the science that we have with our products, it's so easy to go down that rabbit hole of trying to educate people with the science. And the more you go down that hole, the longer it is for people to decide. I mean, you're going to have the odd person that, which is probably 10% of the world, that are detail oriented, but most people, at the end of the day, they just want to know this stuff works. And it's the stories and the connection that people have with the stories that's going to get people to look. Same with the opportunity. The key is to connect with people, find out what they're looking for, and then just show them the possibility, show them a link, invite them to a presentation, and let them, with their own eyes, see the picture. You may see it as just wanting to get customers, and you're going to miss the boat if that's what your only goal is, because you could be talking to somebody that really doesn't care. As long as the product works, they really don't care. They just want to make money. And that's me, to be honest with you. For me, at the beginning, it was about, you know what? I need to make money. And the product just happened to work. Great. I already knew about glutathione. Great. But I didn't lean towards customer building. I was looking for people like me that were looking for a way out. And guess what? I put that out there. The energy went towards that. So I attracted it. So whatever you're putting out there, energy-wise and thought process, is exactly what you're going to get into your business.
So again, is to simplify the process. This is exactly what you just did. So let us walk through a list. And Tammy, I'm going to go through the first ones, and then we're going to go back and forth. And again,
take a screenshot, you guys.
Yes, because this is really good. One is, this is critical. So drop your fear of failure, fear of rejection. Fear creates inactivity, no income. And that's what's going on for many right now, is the fear of the rejection. False evidence appearing real. Defines how do you spell fear. It's absolutely critical. Be willing to learn and unlearn, folks. So this is important. Sometimes you may think, oh, I've been this, I've heard this, I've seen your trainings, blah, blah, blah. Okay. What's important is your mindset. And that's what we're talking about here, is to have an open spirit, an open, words are not coming. The willingness to absorb and to let go. That's what the unlearn means. And focus on that, being receptive. Because there's a lot of things that we're sharing that you might have heard 1,000 times. And because you heard it before, it doesn't have any value. But there's a lot of value behind what we're sharing here tonight. It's not about whether it is easy or difficult. It's about whether it is worth it. And this is what you need to ask yourself. Is it worth it? Is it why you do it or not doing it? Is it because maybe it's not worth it for you? Or maybe you have different goals? Whatever this goal is, there is no right or wrong answer. If it matters to you, it's important. Whatever that goal is. If people like you, they will listen to you. If they trust you, they will do business with you. But one thing that's really important is the process. That's why when you connect with people and you're prospecting, people tend to have a bit of an agenda. And they go very quick to the sell. What's the sell? Well, check this link. Tell me if you like it. And you go, and it's not wrong, but you have to be able to read the person's behavior, the way they respond back to you. Or just give you an answer to brush you off, or they give you an answer that is legitimate. So when you meet with someone, you make a connection, and that connection will turn into a conversation. That conversation will give you the opportunity to expose them to whatever information you want to share them, you want to share with them. And people tend to work with you, not necessarily just because of the product, which definitely will have strong value for them, but they're asking, can I work with this person? People like to work, people they like, they know, and they trust. And that's the process. That's why following up, it's such an important step. And sometimes will take 2 to 3 to 4 to 6 to 7 times. Not often because they couldn't afford it. It's because they're not sure if they can trust you, or if you're the kind of person that can really contribute to help them reach their goals. That's when the follow-up process is critical. You know, become a master and teacher of the strategy simplified to multiply. And then Tammy, I'll let you carry on after that, and we go to the next page. And I love this because Eric talked about this, as a matter of fact. He says, what's happening is and I know Tammy and I are very conscious of that, is when we create a system, we try to make it so simple that everybody can duplicate it. But of course, they have to do the activities. And if you want things to work for you, it has to be duplicatable for the person. Or in other words, the person has to feel and relate that they can do what you just told them to do, that they can tell that to someone else. So the strategy of simplify to multiply is critical. And maybe the strategy is simple, but maybe your words and the way you express it sounds like it's a lot, because maybe you give too much information, too much data. And I know that we have some team leaders that whenever there's an interest on CellGPT, there's going to be about 17 posts on everything there is to know about CellGPT. It's too much. Just a tiny little bit for them to have the taste for it. And then you carry on. Simplify to multiply, because even if the information that you're giving them is super relevant, they're saying, oh my God, do I need to learn all of that? And then you just lost a perfect prospect that you could have converted with a quarter of the information that you sent this person. Simplify to multiply. Back to you, Tammy.
Yeah, and if you treat your business like a hobby, you're not going to get paid like a business person. So if you want to grow as a network marketing professional, you have to treat it like a professional. You have to show up like a professional. You have to do the work. You have to be accountable. You have to be able to duplicate simplicity. That's another thing. And there's so many things that we all need to do to work on ourselves to grow in 2024. So write those things down that you could do better in 2024 if you're looking for better results, of course, and help those that are ready. That's the key. Yeah, keep calling people, chasing people is not going to grow your business. And I always say that, and you guys hear me all the time, love people where they're at. The ones that show up, those are the ones that are hungry. They're hungry enough for more. They're hungry enough for change. They're hungry enough to learn. And those are the ones that you want to focus your time on, because time is valuable for both parties. So each one has to bring value to the table and respect to the table. And it doesn't matter the size of the audience. What matters is the size of the commitment. And that is so true, Chris. That is absolutely true. When I think of the organizations that we've built over the years, you could pick, just maybe even on 1-2 hands, the people that are the reason why the paycheck is where it is. You know which teams are the thriving teams. So you spend your time with the people that are willing to grow this business, that are willing to do the work. And every time you have a 20 and 30 or whatever it is, look at the ones that are doing it. So if you feel that you're not the one that's making this stuff happen, if you don't want it to happen, it's totally different. But if you want it to happen, you want to be an example, because if you bring somebody in and you throw a fun challenge to them, you're going to want them to do some actions, because you're going to want to help them get to their ranks. You're going to want to help them get to their income goals, right? So we have to be the example of this. And constantly personally work on ourselves to grow into that. Consistency is power, and victory does not come overnight. It never does. It's always those simple baby steps over time will create that. And the more people that you have on board that are willing to do the focused little steps, those are the teams that are growing. It's easier to give birth than to raise the dead. Go get new people. That's the bottom line. If we want to go into momentum, we have to go out and get new people. New people are excited. New people don't know what happened in 2023, right? New people, they have big goals and they have possibility. So spend time helping the new people. Go out and get them and help the new people. And remember, simplicity, and you got to guide people. The boards, I can't believe most people, honestly, don't even go look at the boards. I work from the boards all the time, and it does the work for me. You can't get any simpler than that. You want to duplicate? Click and send. Copy, paste. That's got to be the easiest duplication you can do. Go back and look at the boards. Go and really see the value. If you just clicked and sent, how much business that all of you would have. If you just did that one thing this year to change everything, working from the boards. All right. And you can't sell a dream if you don't look the part. We're so used to saying if you look like a nightmare, but that is so much nicer. I like this one better. But it's true. People tend to, unfortunately, to judge. I mean, you don't have to be dressed up. You don't see anybody dressed up in suits, casually doing. People are more casual now than ever. But it's to, have your hair combed, like, look like you're out there to make things happen. That's what you want to do. And it's your posture too. It's so much bigger than just having your makeup on, girls, or your hair combed or whatever. It's the way you feel about yourself, your confidence, all of that, it matters. Okay. So work on this stuff. Wherever you feel that you need the most work, that's where you need to work on. Time will promote you or expose you. Always remain a student, remain humble, and remember where you come from. You're missing a word there, Chris. Great stars attract long journeys, and long journeys prepare great stars. Have fun doing your business. That's the most important thing. If you wake up and you think that this is work, oh my gosh. I mean, some of you guys work jobs. Some of you guys have physical jobs. I can't even imagine going to work for a job. I can't imagine. So, it's what you create is a life that you're going to have. So just go out and have fun doing this. I mean, we connect with people. That's what we do. We get to know people. We find out, what's going on in their lives, and if they're looking for change, if they have jobs. Often in conversation, they're going to tell you what they like about your job if you bring that into a question. But if you ask them what they didn't like about their jobs, there's a much bigger list. I can tell you that. When you start to build rapport and people are comfortable with you, they'll start sharing all the things that they don't like about what they do. And that's a way to find out, if there was something that you could do from home that would allow you to, all the things that they like, would you be open to have a look at it? Have a look at something? And most people are going to say yes. And you let them know that you're going to send them information. How would you like to receive it? It's so simple, you guys. And then you send them a link. And then in that conversation, you tell them how much time it's going to take them to have a look at it. And then you say, if I call you back tomorrow night, same time, does that give you a chance to have a look at it? They say, nope, tomorrow night I have a gym class I'm attending. How about Thursday night? Perfect. Then you get on a session with them and you find out what they like the best. It's really simple, you guys. It's really, really, really simple. It's to really get back to that simplicity. And I think that's it, Chris.
Okay, you covered all of them?
No, not everyone will, but everyone can. Absolutely. Absolutely.
This is a really important line, guys. See, you need to accept that everyone can, but not everyone will. And trust me, I have a hard time with this often. Says, no, you can. But they're not willing. They're not willing. Let them go. Focus on those that are willing. And one thing that's really, really important here is plug into the system. I know last week, I appreciate those of you that participated. Take the time, take a minute, at least once or twice a week, into any of the groups, the Telegram group or the Facebook Messenger group, and share your experiences, share your successes, the things that happens. Let's collaborate and stay plugged in. And one thing that's important is constantly, we talked about this ebook. I will be sharing it in the comment section, and it's a phenomenal ebook that you can install into your smart devices. And every morning, pick a few of them in an area of interest and just read it. I mean, there's a lot of them. And if you get into a habit of doing that, you're training your mind to think in that way. I know I'm guilty of this. I used to listen to my audiobooks all the time. I have to admit that lately, I was just telling Tammy, I have all these amazing books on I have the Kindle app. For some reason, I like to buy my books through Amazon, and I have the Kindle app into my Apple devices. And I have all these amazing books. Some of them I didn't even open yet. And they're phenomenal books, great books. Spend half an hour every morning or before you go to bed and just read a couple pages, a few segments, right? I appreciate that all of you here are coming every week to plug in, to recharge, to get a little bit of piece of information, a little nugget that can trigger something, that keeps you engaged. So again, congratulations for all of you doing that. So, and this is really the topic for tonight. Is your mindset is absolutely everything, right? What you think about expands. And this is so true. And as a matter of fact, I was speaking to Linda this week, and we were talking about investment. I know Linda is a CPA professional and super, she has experience in this arena. And we were talking about some investments that she's done recently with this guy. And she was just amazed on how much this can compound over the years. And I invited next week Claudia and Craig. Craig, you met. These are Canadians that are very successful, and they have projects in the United States and in Canada. And these projects are absolutely brilliant. And this is the guy that owns the company, BG Accounting. Many of you are actually using Ashim's services, and absolutely brilliant guy. That's the owner of that company. And he also has an ebook that he wrote, and I will ask him if it's possible to pass this on to you guys, and I'll attach it to the recording from next week's call. It's brilliant, brilliant on how you can maximize, especially the way things are going on in the US and in Canada. Ontario, we're a Commonwealth, just like United States. So we're facing the same. I mean, taxes are overwhelming. But the one thing I found in Canada, despite that we're taxed a lot, the moment you contribute to this economy, which you can do it in a way that will play in your favor, there's all these wonderful benefits that comes your way. But most people are not aware. And many of them, we talked about the HST, or if you're in Quebec, it's the GST. My point here is that there's a lot of benefits that comes your way if you're aware of them. The government will not let you know. It is your responsibility to fund these out. There's power in education. So next week, we'll have Claudia and Craig that's going to be sharing their experience. And then from there, you guys are invited to connect with them and see what they have to offer for you to be able to park your money. Because one thing that I understand about real estate is, I have equities and stocks. Of course, I mean, this stuff is doing the lambada. I'm into crypto. I mean, this stuff is just going, it's like a heartbeat. It's high and then it's low. It's high and it's low. It's high and it's low. These are things that for sure there's place with, but real estate, the house is not going to disappear. The property is not going to disappear. And the way he works around that is absolutely brilliant. There's also a lending program where I did, and it's giving me some interesting passive income that's adding on every single month in Canada. So he's going to talk about this next week. I recommend that you attend. I know we have some professionals here. I know Alice is a professional in this area. I know she's done a big part of her career on investments and things like that. So I hope you guys can make it next week. So these guys are going to be our guests. And then the following week after that, I was talking to Adrian. Adrian is the son of Tom Schultz that actually owns NowSite. And this thing is a monster. I mean, what they're putting together is going to be absolutely crazy. And there's different points of entry that you can choose. And I highly recommend this because at one point, I'll admit that I was a little bit stuck with leads. And now I can have an unlimited amount of leads every single day. And they have these conference calls 5 days a week. And I know that MC, you've been part of them. And it doesn't matter how much experience you have online or with computers. They are phenomenal to walk you through. And they have a complete schedule that you can follow all week long, every single day to walk you through. You can interact with them. You can set some appointments. It's a very good system. Eric is embedded in AI with this system where he's going to be doing a lot of the trainings that are going to be included with these packages. I don't know how they're going to package this over time, but I think that it'll be an included package. It'll be part of your, if you choose to be part of this. And the reason we talk about this, it's because it's a very useful tool. Right now, I have capture pages for Max International where they just get their name and email, and then right away I send them to my affiliate link because the affiliate link won't capture the lead for me. It stays in Max. But when you go through this landing page, I capture their leads and it tells me if they went to it. It tells me if they read it. It tells me all of these things. I've created a wonderful series of email campaign that the moment they opt in, they start reading. As I mentioned at the beginning of the call, I think it was the beginning of the call, I'm taking the blogs that are on the LiveMax and I'm creating an email campaign with these blogs. I'm going to share this with the team. So you don't have to do what I had to do. You can just take them. So there's a lot of wonderful things that are coming. And if I'm talking to you and it's all over your head, don't worry about it. Like I said, they have a great support system that is wonderful. And what I've noticed, the people that show up are people that are in their 70s, late 60s, There's not a lot of folks because the young folks are kind of intuitive with these kind of things, but the older generation, it's not as intuitive. And the reason I'm telling you this is don't feel that, well, it's too late. You don't know any of this. Most people that are actually in these courses do not have a lot of experience, and some of them are getting great traction right now. So we're trying to throw a lot of things at you to help you evolve and grow your business. So I'll end on this note, Tammy, if there's anything else that you want to end as we finish the session.
No, just constantly work on ourselves. I think that's the key, is to really decide what you want this year and go for it. And don't allow the little things or the past stop you from doing the things that you need to do to get to where you want to go. And trust me, we also have to work on ourselves too. So it's something that, you know, I think it's a growing thing. Is we're all human beings, and there's always things that happen in life that could pull you here and pull you there, and you just gotta be in control to say no and make those changes. Sometimes you have to say no to the people you love the most and say, no, I gotta stay focused. And yeah, so just do it, you guys.
Wonderful. Well, thank you very much for your feedback, Linda. Thank you, everyone. And again, you can see we have a plan. We're moving forward our plan, and we want you to be part of the plan. This is a decision that you have to make. So I hope you guys will be able to participate in all of these things that we're throwing your way. Okay, everyone. Have yourself a wonderful rest of your evening. And thank you again, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye.